Magic Tree House, Book Number 5, Night of the Ninjas. Chapter 1, Back into the Woods. "Let's look again, Jack," said Annie. Jack and Annie were walking home from the library. The path went right by the Frog Creek woods. Jack sighed. "We looked this morning," he said. "We looked the day before and the day before that." "Then you don't have to come," said Annie. "I'll go look by myself." She took off into the woods. "Annie, wait!" Jack called. "It's almost dark. We have to get home." But Annie had disappeared among the trees. Jack stared at the woods. He was starting to lose hope. Maybe he would never see Morgan again. Weeks had passed, and there had not been one sign of Morgan Le Fay, nor had there been one sign of a magic tree house. "Jack!" Annie called from the woods. "It's back!" "Oh, she's just pretending as usual," Jack thought. But his heart started to race. "Hurry!" called Annie. "She better not be kidding," said Jack. He took off into the woods to find Annie. Night was falling fast. Crickets chirped loudly. It was hard to see through the shadows. "Annie!" Jack shouted. "Here!" she called. Jack kept walking. "Here where?" he called back. Here! Annie's voice came from above. Jack looked up. "Oh, man," he breathed. Annie waved from the window of a tree house. It was in the tallest oak in the woods. A long rope ladder hung down from it. The magic tree house was back. "Come on up!" Annie shouted. Jack ran to the rope ladder. He started climbing. He climbed and climbed and climbed. As he climbed, he looked out over the woods. High above the treetops, it was still light. At last, Jack pulled himself into the treehouse, and he sat in the shadows. Books were scattered everywhere. On the floor, the letter M glowed in the dim light. The M stood for Morgan Le Fay, but there was no sign of Morgan herself. "I wonder where Morgan is," said Jack. "Maybe she went to the library to get some more books," said Annie. "We were just at the library. We would have seen her," said Jack. "Besides, the library's closed now." Squeak! A little mouse ran out from behind a stack of books. It ran to the M shining in the floor. "Yikes!" said Annie. The mouse sat on the middle of the M. It looked up at Jack and Annie. "Oh, it's so cute," Annie said. Jack had to admit the mouse was cute. It had brown and white fur and big dark eyes. Annie slowly reached out her hand. The mouse didn't move. Annie patted its tiny head. "Hi, Peanut," she said. "Can I call you Peanut?" "Oh, brother," said Jack. "Do you know where Morgan is?" Annie asked the mouse. Squeak! "You're nuts, Annie," said Jack. "Just because the mouse is in the treehouse doesn't mean it's magic. It's a plain old mouse that crawled in, that's all." Jack looked around again. He saw a piece of paper on the floor. "What's that?" he said. "What's what?" asked Annie. Jack went over and picked up the paper. There was writing on it. "Oh, man," whispered Jack after he read the words. "What is it?" said Annie. "A note," said Jack. "It must be from Morgan. I think she's in big trouble." Chapter 2, The Open Book. Jack showed Annie the piece of paper. It said, "Help me. Under a spell, find 4 thin." "Oh, no," said Annie. "We have to help her. But what's a thin?" "Maybe she was trying to write things," said Jack. "See how the N sort of runs off the page?" "Maybe the spell was starting to make her disappear or something," said Annie. "Right," said Jack. "I wonder if she left any other clues." He glanced around the tree house. "Look!" Annie pointed at a book in the corner. "That's the only open book," she said. Jack looked around again. Annie was right. He felt a shiver go down his spine. Jack went over to the book and picked it up. He held it near the window. Light from the setting sun was golden on the page. Chuck stared at the picture on it. In the picture were trees with white flowers. The trees were on the side of a mountain, near a wide, rushing stream. 2 people were also in the picture. They wore dark clothes, their black scarves over their faces, and long swords strapped to their backs. "Oh, man," whispered Jack. "Who are they?" Annie asked. "Ninjas, I think," said Jack. "Ninjas? Really?" said Annie. "Morgan must have left the book open for this page for a reason," said Jack. "Maybe that's where she was when the spell got her," Annie said. "Or maybe that's where the 4 things are," said Jack. "Let's go," said Annie. "Now?" said Jack. "Yes, Morgan's in trouble. She needs us now," said Annie. "But we should read this book first," said Jack, "so we'll be prepared." "Forget it," said Annie. "Every minute counts." She grabbed the book from Jack. "Give it back," he said. "We have to find out about this place." Annie held the book out of reach. "We'll find out when we get there," she said. "We don't even know where there is," Jack said. But Annie pointed at the picture. "I wished we could go here," she said. The leaves of the oak tree began to shake. "Squeak!" "Don't be scared, Peanut," said Annie. She scooped up the mouse. Then she put it in the pouch of her sweatshirt. The wind began to blow. It blew harder and harder. The chairs started to spin, faster and faster. Chuck squeezed his eyes shut. Then everything was still, absolutely still, except for the sound of rushing water. Chapter 3, E-High. Jack opened his eyes. Annie was already looking out the window. The mouse peeked out of her pouch. Jack looked out the window too. The air was fresh and cool. The house was in a tree with white flowers. The tree was in a grove of trees on the side of a mountain. Nearby, a wild stream rushed downhill. 2 ninjas were standing on rocks near the water. They were staring at the valley below. One ninja was tall, the other was short. They wore black pants and shirts. They had black scarves around their heads and swords strapped to their backs. It was exactly like the picture in the book. Jack crouched below the window. "Be careful," he whispered. "Don't let them see you." "Why not?" Annie whispered back. "They might think we're some kind of enemy," said Jack quietly, and he crouched beside him. Jack pushed his glasses into place. Now he was going to look at the ninja book. He picked up the book. He turned to the beginning. He read, "Very little is known about the shadowy warriors called ninjas. Historians believe that ninjas lived in Japan between the 14th and 17th centuries. Both men and women were ninjas. Sometimes they fought to protect their families. Sometimes warlords hired them to be spies." "Wow," whispered Jack. "We're in Japan, hundreds of years ago." Jack opened his backpack. He pulled out his notebook and pencil. He liked to take notes. He wrote, "Ninjas were warriors in old Japan." "Jack," whispered Annie, "they're looking up. I think they know we're here." Jack peeked over the windowsill. His eyes met the dark eyes of the tall ninja. "E-High!" the ninja cried. He dashed toward the tree. The other ninja followed. "Oh, no," said Annie. "We've got to go," Jack said. "Where's the Pennsylvania book?" He and Annie looked around wildly. But where was the book about Pennsylvania? It had the picture of the Frog Creek woods in it. Jack and Annie couldn't get home without it. "It's not anywhere," cried Annie. "We've got to do something fast," said Jack. "Pull up the ladder." He and Annie grabbed the top of the rope ladder. They pulled the ladder into the tree house. But the tall ninja leapt at the tree trunk. Then he started climbing up the tree. The short ninja followed. They climbed just like cats. Jack and Annie huddled in a corner. The ninjas climbed into the tree house. Neither one made a sound. Chapter 4, Captured. The ninjas pulled iron bands off their hands. The bands had spikes like claws on them. That's how they climbed the tree, Annie whispered to Jack. The ninjas stared at Jack and Annie with dark, piercing eyes. The rest of their faces were covered by their scarves. Jack felt frozen under their stares. Annie wasn't frozen, though. She stepped right up to them. "Hi," she said. The ninjas didn't say hi back. They didn't move at all. They were as still as Jack. "We're trying to help our friend, Morgan," said Annie. She held up Morgan's note. The tall ninja took the note from her. He looked at it. Then he gave it to the short ninja. The two ninjas stared at each other. Then they looked back at Jack and Annie. Finally, the short ninja nodded once. He put the note into the pocket of his shirt. "You can help us?" Annie asked. Neither ninja spoke. Jack wished he could see their faces. He couldn't tell what they were thinking. The short ninja tossed the rope ladder back out of the treehouse. The tall one pointed down the ladder. Then he pointed at Jack and Annie. "Ugh, oh," thought Jack. Were they being captured? "Us? Go with you?" said Annie. The ninja nodded. "Oh, boy," said Annie. "Oh, boy, is she nuts?" wondered Jack. The short ninja darted down the ladder. He went hand over hand. His feet didn't touch the rungs of the ladder. The tall one did the same. Jack gasped. The ninjas moved very fast. They were like spiders dropping from webs. "Wow," said Annie. "Now's our chance to leave," said Jack. "Quick!" He looked around the house again. Where was that Pennsylvania book? "Let's go with them, Jack," said Annie. "No, this isn't a game," Jack said. "But I think they know something about Morgan," said Annie. She started down the ladder. "Come back," said Jack. But it was too late. Jack sighed. "Why does this always happen?" he asked himself. "Come on, Jack," came Annie's voice from below. Jack put his notebook and the ninja book into his pack. He pushed his glasses into place, and he started down the ladder. Jack joined Annie and the ninjas on the ground. The sun had fallen behind the hills. The sky was streaked with red and gold. The mouse peeked out from Annie's sweatshirt pouch. "Don't be scared, Peanut," Annie whispered. "We'll take care of you." "Great," thought Jack. "But who's going to take care of us?" The short ninja held Jack's arm in one hand and Annie's arms in the other. He led them through the twilight. The tall ninja walked behind them. "Where are we going?" Jack asked. The ninja stopped near the rushing water of the wide stream. The water roared as it raced downhill. The short ninja looked at Jack and Annie. He let go of their arms. Then he pushed them toward the stream. "You want us to cross it?" shouted Annie. The ninja nodded. Then he and the short ninja stepped into the wild stream. They started wading. "Let's run back to the treehouse," said Jack. "No, we have to follow them," said Annie, "for Morgan's sake." Jack took a deep breath. She was right. Annie grabbed Jack's hand. Together they stepped into the water. "Yikes!" They both screamed and jumped out. It was the coldest water Jack had ever felt. It was colder than ice. It was so cold it felt like fire. "I can't go back in," said Annie, shivering. "Me neither," said Jack. "I'll have a heart attack." The ninjas looked at Jack and Annie. Then they turned around and came back. The tall ninja grabbed Jack. "Help!" Jack cried. But the ninja lifted Jack high into the air and put him on his shoulder. The short ninja put Annie on his shoulder. Then the two ninjas stepped into the stream again. The icy wild water swirled around them. It went up to the short ninja's waist. But the ninjas moved through the stream as calmly as two sailing ships. Chapter 5, Flames in the Mist. The water grew shallow again. Then they were on dry land. The ninjas lowered Jack and Annie to the ground. "Thanks," said Annie. "Thanks," said Jack. "Squeak," said the mouse. The ninjas said nothing, but they looked around. Jack looked around too. A full moon was rising in the sky. Dark rocks dotted the side of the mountain. Then the ninjas started moving. They were suddenly up the slope between the rocks. Jack and Andy followed them. Jack wasn't afraid of the ninjas now. In fact, he was starting to like them. Maybe they really could help find Morgan. The ninjas moved silently, but Jack and Annie made plenty of noise. They panted as they climbed the rocky hillside. Their wet sneakers made squishy sounds. Suddenly, the ninjas froze, shocked to see their eyes darting around. Voices were coming from the valley below. Chuck saw torches flaming in the mist. The ninjas started moving faster. Chuck and Annie hurried after them. "Who's carrying the torches?" Annie asked. Chuck was too out of breath to speak. He also didn't have an answer. They came to a pine forest. Nightbirds called out. Wind rattled the branches. The ninjas moved like ghosts through the forest. They appeared and disappeared through moonlight and shadows. Chuck and Annie struggled to keep up. Finally, the ninjas came to a stop. One ninja held out his hand, as if to say, "Wait." Then both ninjas stepped away into the shadows of the trees and were gone. "Where did they go?" said Annie. "I don't know," said Jack. "Maybe the book can tell us." He pulled the ninja book out of his pack. He turned the pages until he came to a picture of a cave. By the light of the full moon, he read, "Sometimes ninjas held meetings in hidden mountain caves to plan secret missions." "Oh man," said Jack. "I bet they went inside a hidden cave." He pulled out his notebook and pencil. He wrote, "Meetings in hidden caves." Jack turned the page. He stared at the picture of a ninja sitting on a mat. He read, "Ninjas took orders from a ninja master. The master was a mysterious wise person who knew many secrets of nature." "Wow," whispered Jack. Just then the two ninjas returned. Jack quickly put his books away. The short ninja motioned for Jack and Annie to follow. In the shadows was the entrance of a dark cave. "Wasn't there?" Annie whispered. "The ninja master," Jack whispered back.